Breakfast Bacchanalia at Olympus. On a snowy, storm-entrenched morning at the summit of Mount Olympus, the Greek gods convene in their resplendent glass hall, a grand structure that appears almost ethereal under the pastel fog swirling around it. Zeus, the king of the gods, has gathered them all for a fancy breakfast dance. He has summoned his fellow deities for a much-needed respite from their divine duties, and what better way to do so than with breakfast, dance, and lively conversation. Aphrodite and Artemis sit near a window, wrapped in sweaters made of clouds, discussing the finer points of planning a grand feast. "We need more variety in our dishes," Aphrodite suggests, looking thoughtful. "Something that's both tantalizing and healthy." "Agreed," responds Artemis. "What about ambrosia fruit salad with a sprinkle of golden pomegranate seeds? And a platter of rainbow veggie tarts?" Meanwhile, Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, busies herself with jotting down a list of tea varieties. "We mustn't forget the teas. We should have chamomile blossom, enchanted jasmine, celestial green, and lavender mist teas." As the gods meticulously plan, a gust of chimey breeze announces the arrival of the jingly jolly jester waiters. Adorned in bells and silk, their arrival brings a fresh wave of jubilance. They prance around, setting up festive tables and fooling around, evoking laughter from their spectators. Their jingles create a rhythm that makes even the somber Hades grin. In the marble-floored kitchen, blushy robot chefs were into action. With faces that light up in deep hues of red, they expertly prepare the gods' vegetarian delicacies. The robots whip up dishes such as mythical mushroom quiches, sun-dappled zucchini noodles, and otherworldly tofu scrambles with herbs that bloom on command. Outside, the pastel fog thickens, mingling with the colorful aura emanating from new hybrid flowers. Blossoms of azure roses twist around the crystal pillars, their fragile petals emitting a faint, sweet perfume. Butterflies formed of soft, iridescent light flutter around, as if foretelling the playful chaos to come. At one corner of the hall, Halloween harpists engage in a soft, eerie melody. Their strings seem to be woven from spider silk, shimmering under the softer light. Each note conjures a tiny, floating pumpkin that twirls before popping into a burst of sparkling dust. The first guests begin to arrive. Bossy topiary clown enters, his green foliage suit rustling with every exaggerated stride. "You there? Move those flowers an inch to the left," he commands to a servant. Posy crossdresser strawman sachets in, his straw limbs adorned in a vibrant, flowing gown, drawing gasps and claps from the onlookers. "Darling, you look absolutely fabulous," chatters chatty quantum professor, who appears next. His mind seems to be in multiple dimensions as he continuously babbles about the latest findings in the multiverse. Then comes smirky finicky panda, who examines each flower and table setting with a keen eye. "I appreciate the effort, but couldn't they have found a more symmetrical centerpiece?" The conversation becomes livelier when whiny-rhymy Tumbleweed rolls in. "Why does the sky storm and rage? Can't the clouds just turn the page?" He croons as he spins about, his thorny exterior catching on draperies and causing minor havoc. Among this eclectic mix, gossipy cats huddle together, purring and snickering about the latest divine gossip. "Did you hear? Hermes lost another bet to Athena." Finally, the light-hearted chaos peaks as Blamey Bum enters, constantly pointing fingers at everyone for various imagined offenses. "You. Yes, you. Who invited the wind to scatter these petals?" The dance begins with the arrival of Mark Twain in his iconic white suit, and John Candy, who has donned a toga for authenticity. Twain spins around with Ellis the Elvis lookalike, creating an unexpected mashup of moves that is both humorous and mesmerizing. Overly frank Flamingo struts in, his directness creating awkward yet amusing pauses as he partners with Tricky Toys, whose movements are jerky and whimsical. Cranky Palace playing card pages flit around, pulling harmless pranks that light up the room with laughter. Mad Hatter dances with phantom pets, creating an ethereal scene as ghostly animals swirl and dance through his wild steps. "I must say, this is the finest breakfast dance I've ever attended," Mad Hatter comments, tipping his hat to an invisible partner. Glitter Mix Masters take over the music, spinning a magical blend of melodies that compel everyone's feet to move. Peculiar plushies dance with pesky puppets and Pranky Palace playing card pages, their moves exaggerated and comical. Ellis waltzes with Aphrodite, while Zeus takes Artemis for a spin. Smirky finicky panda pairs with posy crossdresser strawman, creating a comedic contrast in both style and attitude. Testy tea triers sip various teas, trying to make sense of the complex flavors while swaying to the music. Each dance partner adds to the hilarity, whether it's the plushies unintentionally bouncing off each other or the flamingo's exaggerated long-legged strides. In one corner, Paradox Professor tries to explain a complex theoretical dance move to chatty Quantum Professor, creating endless loops and causing a few bewildered expressions. By now, the gods and their guests are thoroughly engrossed in witty banter and lighthearted mischief. Conversations range from the absurd to the profound. Bossy topiary clown grumbles, "Why must the toast be so crispy? It ruins the balance of my avocado. Why does my tea turn sweet, yet always cold on the beat?" Questions whiny rhymy tumbleweed, rhyming even as he critiques his breakfast. Smirky finicky panda seizes the moment to let known, "Perhaps if we used bamboo cutlery, everything would be perfect." John Candy and Mark Twain share a story, the former guffawing loudly. "Remember the time I tried to cook with thunder and only caused blunders?" In another corner, Blamey Bum is hotly debating with Mad Hatter about who misplaced the milk jug. "I see only one culprit here, and it's certainly not me," he insists. In a quieter corner, the gossipy cat's prattle reaches the high heavens. "Did you hear the moon fell in love with a comet?" whispers one. All the while, the pastel fog weaves between their conversations, adding an almost dreamlike atmosphere. The flowers release a soft glow, thoroughly enchanting anyone who gets too close. As the morning progresses, the dance floor becomes more animated. The funniest moves are witnessed when chatty Quantum Professor, caught in a loop of ceaseless conversation, tries to juggle multiple dance partners across multiple timelines. His antics leave everyone in stitches. Bossy topiary clown, trying to lead, finds himself tangled in posy crossdresser strawman's dress, while smirky finicky panda's attempts to execute a perfect pirouette leave him spinning off in the wrong direction. Whiny rhymy tumbleweed rolls across the dance floor, bumping into everyone, his continual rhyming complaints creating a hilarious running commentary. Overly frank flamingo makes an exaggerated show of every dance move, his bluntness adding to the comedy. "You dance like a lumbering buffalo, but it suits you." The climax of the dance occurs when Ellis the Elvis lookalike belts out a classic tune, accompanied by the Halloween harpists. His electrifying performance causes the entire gathering to break into a spellbinding, albeit clumsy, synchronized dance. Good-natured chaos continues as more guests join, each bringing unique breakfast dishes to share. Mark Twain offers a platter of humor-infused pancakes that flip themselves and tell jokes, while gossipy cats bring a mysterious breakfast casserole that changes flavor with each bite. "I'd swear this casserole just tasted like ambrosia," says Testy T. Trier, slightly baffled. "Mine tasted like moonbeams and dreams," adds the Blabbery dollhouse, its tiny, animated furniture nodding in agreement. "It's a casserole of contradictions," proclaims the Paradox Professor, clearly delighted. As the sun finally pierces the cloud cover and mingles with the pastel fog, casting a surreal glow, the event winds down and the last dance is danced.